I'm torturing myself for y'all's amusement. But anyways, today, I thought to start off the stream, what we would do is we would rate the summer update, right? And so what that'll entail, essentially, is I want to start off with each little bit. I want to start off with the cosmetics that they put in the game. I want to start with the unusuals. I want to talk about, of course, the maps. And I want to talk about the taunts that they got in. Because that's pretty much all we get now with these seasonal updates. Until we're going to get the MVM update, like, which is going to be like our first actual, what everyone in the TF2 community would agree is going to be like a major update. Until we get that, these are really all we come to expect from the seasonal updates. It's the cosmetics, the taunts, the unusual effects, and some new maps that may or may not stay. With this update, to be honest with you, I kind of hope that only like a couple stay. I don't want all of them. 6 is way too many. We do not need 6 to 10 to 12 new maps every year. We just need like a few, right? So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start. Let me read a few of the comments, and then what I'm going to be doing is, to start off the cosmetic picks, I want to go through each one on loadout.tf, show you guys the new cosmetics we got if you haven't already seen them, talk about why I think they're good or they're not good, if they fit or if they don't fit, kind of what you can do with them, and then get into everything else, which I got Shonik's permission. We're going to use Shonik's video to kind of show off the rest of the things, like the unusual effects, the maps, the taunts. Shonik always does a really good job putting together these videos that pretty much show off everything. Do you agree that Bread Space is the best map in TF2? If by best, you mean like the best chance of like shutting down Team Fortress 2 for good, the best chance of making people uninstall the game, the best chance of making someone go, we have completely lost the plot, then it's pretty much right up there. It's probably right up there below, right below Whatville. Like, okay, it's gotta be Whatville at the very, very top. Then it's gotta be Bread Space. And then it's gotta be like, I don't know, what's up there with that? Like Hydro? I don't know. I mean, at least Hydro had some respect with the old TF2 players, but my god, no. I thought Bread Space was such a cool idea as a community map, and then when it actually got in the game and I was forced to play it, I was like, oh no. What have we done? We asked for this. Oh no. Alright. So, let's go ahead and get started with the summer cosmetics. Loadout.tf is great for this because literally, like, the minute that these updates drop, you can always just go right into this tab right here, scroll down, and see, like, all the new ones that got put into the game, right? All the new cosmetics. And so, like, literally when these drop, the move, if you want to see everything, like the instant drops without having to scroll through the entire, you know, Steam workshop, is just to come into here on TF Loadout and scroll to the very bottom and see what things are new, right? Not a pro golfer 7830. Thank you for the follow. And also to check out Shonik's new videos because he's super quick with it too. He has those videos out like the day everything drops. So those are the cheat codes about pretty much knowing everything you want to know about the update the minute it drops. Obviously you can read about it on the TF2 page, but seeing it, seeing what things you want to experience, what things you want to buy or not buy, whatever, those are the cheat codes. So to start with let's start with the all class items that got in, right? So you've got the Deadwave Communicator, which, I mean, cool enough, I guess. You can make some ideas with this as each class, but to be honest, we already had some cosmetics that kind of give you like this space vibe for any class. Like we just got the laser gazers not too long ago, and that kind of already filled like a space vibe. But that being said, there's not, you know, a million of them yet, so I mean, I guess it's an okay cosmetic. That with, you know, you can make something out of this. I mean, let's put the flapjacks on him, why not? Give him some sort of like space explorer type look. I think what the Scout needs now as a new cosmetic, of all the cosmetic ideas that Scout has already had and doesn't have, I think he needs some kind of like metal, robotic, or futuristic type cosmetics for his body. Because I think he has enough for his head, but he doesn't have enough for his body. So a lot of these you can't really match with something too well. Okay, but ranting about the communicator out of the way, let's go through the rest of the Scout cosmetics. So this one was also in all class, but they kind of went all in on the scout with this one. So if you guys don't know, this is clearly like a reference. In my opinion, it looks like it's supposed to be a reference to One Piece, to Monkey D. Luffy. But the thing is, they didn't go all the way with it. They didn't make Scout like shirtless, because Monkey usually has like kind of the more, he's referenced like a shirtless kind of like button-down shirt that's opened, and then he's got like the straw hat with it, and then he's usually in like flip-flops, right? So they didn't quite go all in with it. They kind of went with the theme, you know, but they kind of still made it Scout's thing. I mean, I guess One Piece enjoyers might really rejoice about this, but to everybody else, it looks very weird. And the other thing is, take this and this away, this is all class now. So, you know, with some classes it looks okay. Like, Heavy has like a Hawaiian shirt that he could match with this and some flip-flops that would look kind of funny all together, right? But I did it together as the Spy earlier, and I laughed out loud by myself in my room, bro. I felt crazy. It looks that terrible. So, like, it's definitely a very questionable all-class item, the Beachcomber's Brim. But it can work. Let me, just for fun real quick, let me see what that one looks like on the Heavy loadout that I'm thinking of. Oh, thank you. Thank you, God, I have a Twitch chat that has a better memory than me. So, I mean, it's kind of neat. Would I personally wear it? No. But somebody that's goofy and wants to look like a Heavy on vacation will probably pull this out. So, I mean, sure. But, anyways, that's pretty much the gist of the Scouts cosmetics that he got for this one. Now, let's go into the Sniper next. Just because it's just what pulls up next on the loadout.tf. Alright, so, of course, you know, Sniper got the same things. He got this one. He got this one. Okay, cool. I think also, by the way, let me not skip this. This was the Hard Hearing, which I believe was in this update. I could be wrong. That, to me, is not impressive at all. It's a very meh cosmetic. I'll just lay it out like that. I get that it's 4 variants, but I don't see anybody super excited to put this on. Just in my head, I don't see anybody that would be, like, overly thrilled to put that cosmetic on. Anyways, going into, like, what the Sniper uniquely got. The Sniper basically got this kind of, like, cowboyish look. I mean, you put together all in a set, and you can tell. They meant for this to be sold together. This would look a lot better with a beard piece, in my opinion, because as the Sniper by himself with just a little aftershave, it still just looks like regular Sniper, to be honest. So with this one, I would probably put on, like, I don't know, you can't do 4 cosmetics, so in my opinion, I would be torn because I feel like I'd have to choose here on something else to give him. So maybe like the Bushman's bristles, right? You could do something like that. And then maybe I would choose not to do the pants. Whatever. Kind of like this sheriff, like, old Western style looking Sniper, right? The thing is, though, about this look that a lot of people kind of, like, made fun of immediately is it's like, oh, it's Cowboy Sniper. It's like, I don't think anybody was really asking. I don't think anybody was really asking for Cowboy Sniper. But, I mean, hey, listen, we get Pirate Soldier. We get, apparently, like, One Piece Scout. We get, Pirate Demo Man. We get, Spaceman Engineer. We get, you know, all these different looks, right? The Haunted Aquaman Pyro. So there's obviously themes that don't have to fit, you know, the actual, like, storyline lore of the TF2 mercs that they eventually let into the game. So maybe somebody will like it. It's not for me. I don't really care for the idea of, you know, a Cowboy Sniper, but, you know, maybe you guys think differently. The cowboy pants by themselves, when we're speaking of pants, by the way, that'll actually, like, go with, like, the cosmetic looks. I mean, there's really only so many looks you can put these with, because this is specifically cowboy western style looking, right? So, I don't think Sniper came out so hot this time, but he did get his own, like, complete loadout look, so, you know, it can work. My friend unboxed a sick unusual of one of the hats. I don't really like a lot of the unusual effects that came with this update, I'm not gonna lie, but We'll get into that soon here. Next, let's go to the soldier. I'm gonna scroll to the bottom here and catch his. Also, I'm gonna turn this down just a tad. This is getting loud, bro. Okay, we really got like just 2 unique looks in my opinion for the soldier this time. The lieutenant's cut, which has 2 different variants. I think these look great for what it's worth. I mean, even just by themselves, this is cool. This might as well just be named the Zesty Jesus at this point. I don't know if you guys have seen the recent Zesty Jesus streams, but bro, his mustache, this is basically all I see when Zesty turns on his stream nowadays, bro. It's just this. It's just this. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me put this more to the side here. I really want you guys to get the visual here. I really want you guys to hone in the message. He's like, hey guys, today we're going to talk about new things that I don't like in Team Fortress 2. And then it just like, it just grows. The entire stream, he just keeps doing this with it, and it's growing. And it's growing. But anyways, I do like this cosmetic for the soldier. I do think it's pretty cool. And they kind of paired it together with the Inglorious Patriot. Does make for this kind of like, this looks like a millionaire soldier. This looks like the millionaire if he was like maybe like an uncle or a close relative of the soldier that also became filthy rich and has like a mansion, right? He's like, oh, I used to be a mercenary, but then, you know, they paid me enough and I just bought this mansion and I have like 20 luxury cars and like 3 pools. I have a 20 bedroom, 30 bathroom mansion. I like the jacket. I use it a lot. Yeah. No, it looks good in my opinion. My only problem with this is I wouldn't know what to pair it with. You know? Because once you have this set, it's like, what else do you put on this? It's kind of already good by itself. And that doesn't make it bad. It's just like, I always have that OCD about if I'm not using all 3 of my cosmetic slots, I'm like, oh, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? That mustache isn't sexy. You don't like it? I think it fits his character. You know, that being said, if you really, really hated the mustache on this, you could work with it, right? Because he does not... Soldier is not somebody that lacks the facial hair cosmetics. Let me see if I can find one of, like, the 3 to 4 different beard cosmetics he's got. I wouldn't use the Cuban with this one because the Cuban is going to add another cigar. But actually, you could do the Cuban because this has 2 variants. So just take this out, right? Add Cuban Bristle Crisis. Boom. Problem solved. That to me looks way too big of a beard, honestly. It looks like way too much facial hair going on. But if you just truly hate the mustaches, I mean, you could... This could be you. You could make this. That is a hairy, hairy man, though. My God. Let me roll that up real quick. Alright, moving on to the Demo Man cosmetics. So the demo for this one, I actually really like his set. I don't know if they were aiming for something else, but to me it feels like they were trying to make a Django set. Which, I mean, this looks sick. In my humble opinion, this looks sick, honestly. And it covers the eyes, kind of gives that kind of, you know, mysterious brim look that you can get with the hat with the no name. Just kind of a cooler combination, if you will. And, I mean, I put this with other things, too, that you can kind of try to make the... I keep calling it the Django, but Django set. Like, here's the Frontier Justice, right? You can also put it with this one and kind of get the same vibe. This is the one that I'm currently using in-game. And I just think this works together really well with a lot other of the Demo Man's cosmetic sets. So, in my opinion, great job with this one. I think Demo came out one of the best of all the 9 mercenaries. Moving on to the Medic. The Medic, well, how he came out is kind of, it's kind of subjective. Kind of up to your own personal taste, I guess. This is what the Medic got. You have essentially the Medic minion. Right? Like, I can just imagine this minion is speaking pure, like, gibberish. He's just... And you're like, what? And I'm like yelling, Medic, pull the Uber! And he's looking at me with a dead space in his eyes. And I'm like, okay. And then you both die. And his ragdoll is something like the craziest ragdoll you've ever seen. Like, that's what I picture. I picture him saying a bunch of gibberish. We both die in the heat of battle. And then his body is flying in the most goofy, cartoonish style possible. That being said, I bought this set for that very reason. I do think it's pretty funny. I do think you put this with the right pants, like this immediately gives off the vibe like I'm gonna be the goofiest healer you have ever run into in your life. Put it with the Night Ward. Bro. The jacket is actually an Invader Zim reference. Are you serious? So it's not meant to be for the minions, it's Invader Zim? Well, I guess I could see that too. The coat is definitely very similar though. Well, yeah, that's what I thought it was, and I used to watch Invader Zim too. Invader Zim was a hilarious show. But, yeah, I was getting a totally different vibe from that. Anyways, this is obviously and clearly the goated medic set. So, you know, peak summer update drop for the medic. I think once you buy this, you can go ahead and throw away the rest of your medic inventory. There's no reason to buy anything else. I wouldn't even get the Burly Beast, you know, because what's the point? You know? The Burly Beast is hailed as one of like the goated cosmetics for the medic, but seriously? We think this even competes with this? Bro. We have found our new peak. Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Next. Moving on to the heavy. Now, me personally did not care almost at all for the things that the heavy got in this cosmetic set. It's basically, obviously, a throwback to Left 4 Dead, right? Which Left 4 Dead at this point has literally practically been Left 4 Dead. That game is so old, not touched on in a long, long time, literally got its last update. And making the heavy the one that you pick to look like Carl, I'm just kind of like, why? That being said, the one thing I do appreciate about what the heavy specifically got, this shirt can just be turned into a regular college shirt. That doesn't look like it belongs to necessarily anything. There is variation you can make with that. I haven't explored it yet. I really don't care to because it's kind of boring to me. But somebody will figure something out with that. And the other more important one, though, as we discussed, is pants. The mercenaries always lack pants variety, right? That's always the thing. We get tons of shirts, we get tons of different themes, but we lack pants, right? So with this is the heavy's already default. This is another pair that kind of look way too similar, but if you give me a pair that I can make completely black like this, that's awesome. It's little things like this that sometimes you don't piece together, but in a bigger set, when you're going to be in someone's kill cam and they're going to be looking at you like, how did he make that loadout? That looks so different. There's something different about that. Pants are huge, right? So here's an example, right? We now have the ability to make something that'll look like that. I mean, dude, that's awesome. I love this set. I love this set. I'm not even like one of the big like oh, spy heavy like meme type people, but this set just in general is like an undercover like robber or, you know, like a soldier or whatever look for the heavy. That looks awesome. That looks awesome. Like honestly, like what's a good, let's do like a Tomislav. Isn't there one called like the woodland something or other? Yeah, let's do like a backwoods broomstick. I mean, dude, you can make something sick out of that. That's all I'm saying. Change the jacket and turn him into a CSGO terrorist. Wow. Yeah, that could be the theme you're going for. Hey, the heavy you just made looks like he would twerk on your stream. Yeah, does he have the same? Yeah, I guess so. He could throw it back whenever somebody follows. I see the vision. I don't want to see that vision, actually. I'm unseeing that vision now. Moving on. The Pyro Cosmetics, I was really unimpressed, to be honest with you. It's, okay, so you get kind of like this goofy sweater. I mean, I guess for the people that like to play, you know, the more goofy style Pyro, that's pretty cool. I was more unimpressed by this one, the Tropical Torture. I don't really see a lot of people using this ever as the Pyro. And I was unimpressed by the Unknown Warrior just because we already have so many cosmetics that look like this. It's not that it's not a good cosmetic, right? Somebody will use this. Somebody will make something cool out of this. To me, I like more standout looks, right? So when we have the Unknown Warrior And we just got the Veteran's Visor, which the Veteran's Visor just came after the Air Exchanger. With the Air Exchanger just came after the Abyss Diver. Now, I get it. Some of these don't have the glowing eyes, but you'll start to get what I'm talking about. I start feeling like I'm playing Halo here, where it's just all of them just have different mask variations. It's just different masks changing that all look slightly similar in a way, you know? And that's like, that's where I get kind of like, you know, disappointed, but it feels like there could be more variety. Like when you get a skull, that's something entirely different, right? That's a whole different vibe, right? We're no longer just, oh, this is like, you know, some sort of plastic or some sort of whatever material style mask. This is like a whole different headpiece, right? But again, I keep going up because I know there's more examples. The Firefly. A little bit further, we've got... I know there was like one more. Oh, there's like 5 more. We've got the Mare Mask. So anyways, you guys get what I'm saying? It just starts feeling like the same thing over and over and over for the Pyro. And that's kind of where I get disillusioned to the whole thing. I want more variety. And I love that they've made Pyro the scary character, so when Halloween comes around, they do not lack vision for Pyro. They give him the craziest, scariest headpieces almost of any other class. It's awesome. But throughout the rest of the year, it's kind of like, you know? So probably my favorite cosmetic that he got in this whole set is this. Just because this is going to have really funny variety for the people that are goofy Pyro players and that like to do trick shots and things like that. Moving on to the Spy. Spy I was about. To me, it's basically a pirate set, right? That to me only really works if you're gonna throw in the cosmetic that I always forget the name of. Basically the mask over the mask that makes him have a human face. The Dapper Disguise. Right, and that's really to me the only look that really goes with this. And again, it's just kind of, do you want to have a spy pirate? You know, if this is the type of look that you're going for, then cool. You know, it doesn't quite fit the vibe I'm looking for, and a lot of other players would be looking for. I don't think of many people that open up TF2 and go, yo, that would be so cool if the spy was a pirate. You know? Now, granted, there was some sort of like Assassin's Creed. You know, he kills people with a knife a lot, right? There was some sort of Assassin's Creed that then went into the pirate realm, so maybe if you're trying to put that together, but not a pirate, it's Napoleon. Okay, sure. Well, whatever you want to, it gives off guy on a boat, pirate vibes, in my opinion, or captain of a, you know, of a navy fleet, which is just kind of like why for the pirate. But if Heavy punches the spy pirate hat in game, maybe it makes it so soft and squishy look because it looks very smooth. What did you just attempt to say? I read it out loud in my head first, and I couldn't process it, so then I was like, I'll say it out loud. And then I said it out loud, and now I feel worse. Now I'm even more lost. If Heavy punched the spy pirate hat in-game, maybe it makes so soft and squishy look because it looked very smooth. I did. I think I put this set together in-game, and it still didn't make sense to me. It still didn't feel like good, you know? So I would rather, me personally, have a different set than have this. And again, if for whatever reason you don't have the Dapper Disguise, then you have to figure out what to do with this, which this to me just feels really weird. I've never seen a pirate or a naval fleet captain or anything with a mask on and then a hat on. Like, what? You know, so again, doesn't quite thematically make sense, doesn't quite aesthetically make sense in my opinion. But hey, if this is what you want, there you go. And lastly, we've got the Engineer set, which this was probably one of my favorite sets in the entire listing as well. You basically have this rich snob style look for the Engineer, which I just think looks really funny. He's got his own set of pants, so he came out clean as well. And the pants even fit the upper body cosmetic. Like, they made a striped pinsuit type look for both, right? Now, you can vary it to just be a regular set, but you can also match it, which is pretty cool. The Chief Executor has 3 different styles, so if you don't quite want so much gold on your face, you can, you know, vary it up. Or you can add even more gold on your face, where he gets the little pen on his ear with the gold monocule. But I thought this looked really cool. When I bought the whole set, I think the only thing I switched out was the pants so that I could put on, what was it, the champ stamp, I think is what it was? Yeah, so I could put on the champ stamp to put even more gold on him. Because again, I love going for looks that you're not usually going to see in Team Fortress 2, and I'm not seeing anybody walking around like this in the game. Add that with a Frontier Justice or the Wrench, making that gold. And it just looks so cool in my opinion. TF2 loadout is always weird about loading Aussies. Let me see. Maybe this will show up quicker. Yeah. But see what I'm saying? It's like the most blinged out engineer you'll ever run into. I just think that looks really cool. Personally. Maybe punch the engineer faces. I'm not doing this, bro. You already gave me, like, I feel like I was having a stroke the first time I read one of these. Let me read another comment. Okay. I rarely see other cat beanie boys. Oh, like the pyros? Or people that run around with the beanies on their head? I've only got like one or two of the beanie looks, to be honest with you. I like the Evil Eye more because he looks more villainous. Let me see which variant we're talking about here. Whoops. Okay. Let me see. Get rid of that. Chief Executor style. Chief Executor. The Evil Eye? Well, which one's the Evil Eye? Tried the new heavy pants, plus the heavy do-rag and the Bolshevik biker. It makes a pretty cool biker loadout. Let me see. Let's try it. Okay, so keeping the heavy pants that I was already thrilled about. What did we say? We want the Bolshevik biker. Alright. And then what was the last one? The heavy do-rag. Heavy do-rag. Come on. Yo! Not too bad. It feels like it's lacking a little bit up top is my only complaint. What if you did like, what if you took out the Bolshevik biker and put the heavy lifter? This looks kind of like a YMCA character. Like, you could either take this really seriously, like it looks like a street thug, or it looks like one of the YMCA dancers off the old YMCA video. Also, you could also use, I could see somebody using, like, I could see somebody using this cosmetic. I forget the name of it. Let's see. The El Gigante's gun belt. I can see somebody using that, too. What about the Texas style? Not bad. Not bad, I'm just saying. Not bad at all. Alright, so now let's move on to the unusual effects, the taunts, and the maps. And for the rest of this, we'll just use Shonik's video because he does a great job and we can cover it all watching there. A lot of the times on loadout.tf, they kind of, some stuff breaks when you try to like pull up the new effects and stuff like that. So anyways, this was the first one. The Umbral Lights. So they have basically 3 variations of this same Northern Lights. What do you call these? The Aurora Borealis, whatever. It's based off something you can see in real life, in the night sky. But to me, the thing is about these particular ones is that it's like, it's a really cool effect to look at, but would I want it over a hat? In my opinion, not particularly. And I discussed this as well with somebody on a different stream. I think it was Wheezy. Did I get that totally wrong? Hold up. Hold up, hold up. Aurora Borealis. Yeah. Right? Isn't that what I said? Aurora? Yeah, the Aurora Borealis. Okay, I was just making sure I wasn't calling that the wrong thing. But yeah, it's a cool looking unusual effect, but I don't know that I'd want any of these over one of my cosmetics. I think what happened, I discussed this with Wheezy, I believe, on one of my last streams, is that you got like the nebula effect, right? Which is so good. It's so clean. It's got like kind of like that mystical star space type look. And I think what a lot of people do nowadays is they try to put in something that just kind of matches that vibe, right? It doesn't quite work with these three unusuals, in my opinion. They just don't look as good. You know? Like, if I unbox any of the hats that I just showed you, I don't think I would be thrilled to see this over it. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't quite think it would fit. Not much else to be said, honestly. That's kind of how I feel about it. The floral growth. Who's playing the War Simulator game and asking to have a crown of flowers put over their head? You know? That's my thing. But hey, there's a lot of different players that enjoy having a lot of different looks. So, you know, I'm assuming a girl would love these. Yeah, I mean, Brody's saying you'd be surprised. There's surely a lot of other people that would like it. Me personally, did not care for this effect. I'm not gonna lie to you. Probably the best one we got. Let me stop right there. Stellar Orbit's probably the best one we got. Again, it kind of goes into the whole, like, it feels like it's trying to, like, steal from, like, the Nebula vision, you know, like the space type of mystical look. I do appreciate it, right? Like, it's not bad. If you saw this in game with the right cosmetic, it wouldn't be bad. But I just feel like we already have too many space unusuals at this point. So, I mean, again, looking at it, doesn't look bad. It looks kind of cool. You know, circling effect, looping shooting stars and just regular stars in general. But I don't know. I think we need to start straying away from the space vibe. I feel like we've overdone it at this point. And then the blissful butterflies. Again, I'm picturing a girl would love this. Maybe some type of medic main. I don't know. Me personally, this would probably be the most unforgivable for me. I'm not gonna lie. If I unboxed an unusual and it came with it came with little butterflies around it, I would just be like, bro, what? I would try to sell this immediately. A Discord kitten would love this. Yeah, this is the unusual you buy for your medic pocket Discord kitten. Here, honey, I got you some blissful butterflies. Here, honey, I got you the floral growth. It's for somebody. Surely it's for somebody, but man, it is not for me. The wistful wings. They somehow made it even worse. Oh my god. It just gets more and more girly. Oh my lord. I mean, hey, listen. Somebody likes this, right? Somebody's gonna buy this. But that somebody is certainly not probably you or I. Okay? Alright, next let's get into the unusual taunt effects. So, the wheat field. I don't see this being good on pretty much any unusual effect. Sorry, on any taunt, except for maybe like the engineer when he's riding the tractor, or the engineer when he's sitting down on a literal wheat pile playing his guitar. Because other than this, it just feels really weird. It just kind of thematically doesn't make sense. I get that the TF2 universe is more in like this industrial farm type vibe a lot of the times. But I don't want wheat coming out of my unusual effect. It still doesn't quite match. When the heavy's flexing at you and lifting weights, I can't imagine the thing that I want to show off is wheat growing from the ground as I do that. If I'm doing the Schadenfreude, I'm like laughing at you. What does adding wheat to that do? What does that do? How does that amplify it in any way? You know? Okay, someone did say, welcome to the rice fields, motherfucker. Okay. Okay. I didn't quite think about that. Maybe if you had the scout doing his breakdance move and Week came out and you named it welcome to the rice fields, motherfucker, that might be funny, actually. That might be really funny. But other than that, this was a pretty hard miss for me, I'm not gonna lie. And then the Luminous Drift, which essentially has, like, I want to say, like, 3 different variants, right? And kind of an ocean vibe, which I get summer update, beach vibe, okay. Unless you're going around year-round with this sort of, like, summer chill vibe, or maybe, like, an aquatic look as, like, the Pyro or something like that, these unusual effects don't quite work, in my opinion. It is cool when you have a looping taunt that's moving, you know, like the cart, or the cannon for the demo, or the Jeep for the heavy, whatever. It is kind of cool to see this effect follow your character. But besides that, again, thematically, it is a little bit confusing. But it can work with something. Again, not a favorite for me. Goated. Goated! We finally got an effect that works for, like, everything. Looks super cool. You can put it over any taunt. For me personally, I used it with the Russian Rubdown. Just put this spotlight on me. I was trying to figure out what effect I wanted for the longest time over the Russian Rubdown. And I thought maybe it would be like the flowers coming out or something. But, not the flowers, the roses that get kind of thrown out, like gold roses or red roses while I was doing that taunt. But as soon as I saw Showtime Spotlights, I was like, that's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Hold on, guys, there's a spider in my room. I'm about to massacre this thing. Give me 1 second. Alright. I just killed the strange, unusual kill streak spider that was in my room. I don't know what his kill streak was, but I ended it. Anyways. Where's the Wheezy, if I may ask? Wheezy's gonna be along in, what do we got? Like 15 to maybe 30 minutes? I'm just covering the update first. He's still doing something. Deep Dive, again, another unusual effect that just doesn't... why? You know, why? This is gonna look very weird. With any taunt, it's gonna look a little weird. And it's just like, what, you're suddenly underwater, out in the middle of the open air? What? Just you? In just this little encompassed space? I don't quite get that one, to be honest with you. Alright, and now getting into the taunts. Now, you guys already know, I already put out my my taunt tier list, going from what I believed was goated to absolute worst. And the circuit breaker, I ended up putting... At first, I put it in goated, and then I put it at A. I know a lot of people would disagree with that, but the reason I did it is because it doesn't make sense any other time but MVM. But that being said, we're getting an MVM update. And MVM was huge back in the day. It's hopefully going to be huge again, depending on how this update does. And when that comes out, this is going to be a very fun taunt to use. So, for that reason, I believe it's good. Dropping it in the middle of the summer by itself was a little confusing, but also understandably, Valve is trying to hype you up and keep you remembering what they said, which is good. They're basically giving you reason to keep them accountable because they're not letting you forget about it. Like when they talked about, like, oh, we're gonna give you a Pyro update, and maybe Heavy will also get his whole, you know, separate update. And then they just kind of like, what are you talking about? What are you no. We're gonna put out another message where we say, like, it was only one or the other. It was only one or the other. Don't even talk about that other thing. We gave you a banana. Be happy with that. You know, this one, they keep constantly reminding you. So, I like this taunt. I think it's gonna be good. This is absolutely goated. I love this for the soldier. I think it's so cool. You absolutely do see a bunch of players rocking this in-game now, in lobby. It's thematically, it fits the soldier's lore. It's really cool. It's also goofy at the same time. He swings around in it. He falls out of it, you know, to end the animation. So, for that reason, I really like this taunt. I didn't even know he does this. So that's just funny. That's just a good, funny taunt. And if he was like sitting outside your spawn doing something like this or up somewhere high, it would just be really cool to watch. Probably the most meh taunt I have ever seen in recent time. This is just like, why? And the thing is, in game 2, it doesn't even show you a specific look, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if you stab somebody as the spy and then you do this, right? I just did the John Cena on accident. I would rather the spy just does the John Cena. Why is the John Cena not in the... I'm actually a genius. I'm actually a genius. Why doesn't Spy have the John Cena taunt? You can't see him. Of all the classes, that would make the most sense. They should have just done that, because this is super lame, right? Now, if I killed somebody and I put the mask on and it showed their face, like it showed at least their class, like, okay, I backstabbed a heavy, it shows the heavy's face, or whatever, or it shows the last disguise that I just had, that's kind of funny. But this is just so lame. Like, this is like, I'm just reminding you that I wear disguises. Who cares? And, the friendly fire for the pyro. This was so underwhelming. For one, I mean, Shonik just shows you here, it doesn't even extinguish whoever you wanted to put out. Because you're assuming, since it does that whole animation, shows the puff of air, that it's going to actually do something, right? It doesn't. It's just purely cosmetic. And even if that was, like, enough to get you excited, you know, that maybe it was going to extinguish, it's like, it doesn't make sense. Why does the class that wants to light you on fire and burn you alive suddenly want to put you out? What's the point of that? Well, Joey, what if it was your own teammate? He has Air Blast. That was introduced, like, what, over a decade ago at this point? Everybody knows he can just Air Blast you with the same gun that he uses. So why does he need a fire extinguisher? What are we doing? It just doesn't make sense, in my opinion. So this was, to me, like, this and the Spy's taunt were the most underwhelming of the entire set, in my opinion. Alright, are we... Okay, next we're on to War Paints. I don't too much care for War Paints. I usually never use War Paints, but let's just give them, like, a good or bad, right? Okay, so for this first one, this is cool. This is cool if I was somebody that used War Paints. Yeah, this is a cool one. This is definitely a cool one. This reminds me of, like, a background somebody would use on YouTube, to be honest with you. Army Guns completely fits the setting. Would be great for, like, Soldier. Could be great for Tomislav. The Beachy Boy, random, confusing. The Die and Dasher, you're gonna have to be somebody that really likes to go with, like, a full theme. Like, I could see somebody that tries to make, you know, like, the polka dot vibe their whole thing. I could see maybe them going with this, you know? But not for me. Crack Coated's really cool. Really cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Sandwich Diner? Bro, who's buying this? Is this for the one scout set where the scout can literally look like a fast food worker? And so they're like, bro, I gotta have something to go with my fast food minimum wage scout set, bro. I gotta have the Sandwich Diner skin for my gun, bro. I gotta prove to them that I belong to the fast food industry. It fits the era? I mean, I guess. But does it fit? Is anybody gonna buy this era? Does it fit, like, who wants this, bro? Like, that's what I'm getting at. No, I live for the fast food industry, bro. Storage War, cool enough. Has the hazard, you know, it's kind of stripes to it. Taxi Cab, I could definitely see a scout appreciating that set. That's clean. That's pretty clean, I'm not gonna lie. On the right weapon, that would look sick. A little florally, but with the gold and the black, that would look clean on the right thing. Okay, so now we get into the maps. I want to rank these with you guys, okay? So, let's start off Mojave, okay? Mojave, to me, is very... It's meh. The things that I do appreciate about it are that it's playable, and it gives me, like, a Dust Bowl-esque vibe. That being said, they kind of tried to go with a similar vibe that you see in Bermuda, which is kind of like this dusk, you know, dimly lit style sky. And with the rest of the color scheme of the map, it just kind of gives you like this ugh feeling. As soon as you get into it, you know, it's just kind of ugh. And the other complaint I have about it is it's just short. It gives me this Dust Bowl feeling where it's like very tight. And it's very like, what's the word? What do people always complain about with Dust Bowl? It's very choky, right? Which, you know, it's a nice change from some of the other maps, right? You kind of want variation. You kind of want, you know, to have, you know, well, how do I test my skills in this type of situation? What if I'm in a wide open map? What if I'm in a close quarters map? How do I, you know, how do I play differently? But since it's so short, you start to get that Dust Bowl feeling. You start to get that hard grind feeling, and then it's over. It's over so quick. So for me, Mojave was honestly meh. It was one of the meh maps for me. Controversial opinion incoming. Bermuda, one of my absolute favorites. When I played it, at first, I hated it. My first time through, hated it. Got lost, was like, this map's way too big, it's way too confusing, why is there so many different ways to go, why is it so many floors, up and down, why do they have, you know, the blue team's sign hanging from, you know, this, I don't know, was that supposed to be like a shark's mouth? Something like that? Off of a crane. It feels very weird. The sky is, again, you know, kind of dreary. That being said, you look into the skybox long enough on the right part of this level, it's actually beautiful. They did a great job with it. It's kind of out in the middle of the ocean, which, you know, I'm a sucker for the beach type vibes. I'm a sucker for the ocean. This is a one-of-a-kind type look right now in the game, which I do appreciate. It doesn't break the setting of, like, does this feel like it's in the right era of time or not? It fits. It fits. There's seagull models that fly around the map the entire time, which is just... With the rain, too, it's so pretty, dude. And then you play it just 2 or 3 times, and you find out that there is a meta to the map, and when you learn the map, it becomes incredibly fun. So, this is actually towards the top of my list. Again, at the end of this, we'll rank the maps. I'll get some of you guys' input on this. It's even got kind of a moving, you know, boat in the background. This is bottom tier for me. I'm not gonna lie. Let's talk about the whole reason that Camp Saxton got into the game, okay? Camp Saxton got into the game because there was already a Halloween version of Camp Saxton. And it made sense. It was, you know, a shout out to, in referencing to the Halloween movies, right? Which I get, you know? And in the back there was usually a portal that would set off, and you could go into some whole other, you know, alternate universe for a second. There was bosses, there was explosive pumpkins, and this was a very scary map. It had cool stuff that went off in the background. Like, I don't know if they're gonna show it, but yeah, they didn't. But, right about here, right around this area, you could look out over a pier into, like, a lake, right? And they had some cool, like, green mist that would go off, and, like, a portal, and, like, all this cool stuff. And so they just kind of went like, okay, well, what's like another summer theme we could do? Like, we need another map. What's another map? What if we just took that map we already have like a really cool Halloween variant of and just made it when it was normal, when it wasn't Halloween, you know, when it wasn't Halloween spelled, when it wasn't the Halloween version. And so this, it felt so dry. You know, when we got this in the game, it just felt like, seriously? We're just doing this? This is the 6th map? Like, okay. So, in my opinion, this was the, you know, this was the most meh of all the maps that dropped. Cough Camp Saxton. And it does feel a little bit out of place, just being real. It does feel a little out of place, in my opinion. Cough Dryfield feels like one of the Cough maps we already have. I'm trying to think of the name of it, but, I mean, if you can just look at this right here, you can kind of see which map I'm talking about if you know your COF maps well enough. So, there's kind of one that already you have to go up a hill, and there's kind of like, you know, a room to the left. There's a room to the right. Yeah, High Pass. It feels like an upgraded version of High Pass. And at first I wanted to complain that it was too long, but it's not. It's really not. And there's safer places now to put your teleporters. Like, if you're used to High Pass, this has more secrete places to put your teleporter. So, to me, this really does just feel like the High Pass Big Brother, and it feels good. The only problem I'm experiencing with this map now is nobody wants to play it. I've had the worst trouble trying to get into this map over any other map. I'm talking like, I've just gone in and been like, I just want Bermuda, right? And I've been able to get into that pretty quick. I want, not Hardwood, the other one that we just got. The payload map, right? I want the payload map. I got into it like that, right? But you try to get into a game of Dryfield by itself, oh my lord. And then my only other complaint about Dryfield right now is it has the mysterious broken white boxes that maybe you remember from when Moss Rock first dropped. Or when some of the Jungle Inferno update maps dropped. You remember those mysterious white squares that would come out of the ground? They have it still left over in this map. And you only see them in like certain spots, and it seems like they're certainly like smaller than they used to be. But it's just still funny to me to see that in a modern day TF2 map. But other than that, Dryfield is a very fun map. This, go Tid. I love this, bro. I'm not even like the biggest King of the Hill guy. I really don't play a lot of King of the Hill. I mean, if you watch my streams, you'll notice that even. But I've never not had a good time on this. Like, this is one of the funnest maps I've ever played. And of course, you win me over with the beach theme. It's just something different, but you still hit the aesthetic of the industrial, of the old buildings, of the, you know, kind of, I don't know, a little bit of the desert vibe, maybe. I don't know. But, that being said, it completely fits. And it's so fun to play. I love that over here, you have kind of a flank spot where you're just on the literal sand, and you can kind of look up and, you know, go around to their side or loop around, you know, this area where you're trying to cap. I think it's so much fun. You can hide back here and then kind of like attack this area. It's such a fun map. And you can really, if your team's good enough, you can start pushing into the enemy spawn pretty easily. So, this is probably one of the top tier ones for me. Aesthetically, it's just so good. And there's a lighthouse in the middle, bro. What? Okay, and here we go. Here's Redwood. Redwood is everybody's favorite. Redwood, you initially join into, and you go, oh my god. Oh my god, this map is huge. There's no way this is going to be fun. This is like, we're talking Bread Space 2.0, bro. This is too big, right? Way too big. But then you play it. And then you start using the zip lines. And it becomes everyone's favorite, like, immediately. I love Redwood. If I had to choose one map, obviously, for them to keep into the game, it's going to be Redwood. At least, yeah, no. If I had to choose one map, gun to my head, that, like, has to stay in TF2 that most people are going to enjoy, Redwood. It's so fun. I've really enjoyed playing it as Engineer, but I know that people that play more like Spy, like Soldier, like Demo Knight, people that like to fly around and do cool strafes and cool tricks, boy, when they learn this map, when they get this map down with the zip lines, this map is going to be terrifying, bro. This is going to be a playground for those type of people. They are going to hunt other players down that don't move quick. Like yours truly. Like yours truly. But even it's fun as the heavy, too. Because, like, listen, people aren't expecting your fat, slow heavy to move as fast as you can move on those zip lines. And you can also take advantage of the jump strafing when you're coming off of those things. So that's been really fun as well, honestly. And I want to say that that's it, right? That should cover pretty much everything. So, now, let's go ahead and make our list. I'm going to make my list first. And then you guys tell me if you guys agree or where you would move things. Let's move this to like 16 bold, right? Let's move to like 20 bold. Okay. So first one, I would say Redwood, right? That's top. Redwood is the peak map we got from this summer update, right? And then after that, me personally, I'm thinking it's a really, really rough tie for me between Bermuda and Shorelight. I'm going to say Shorelight. Shorelight is basic, it's quick to understand, it's fun, it fits the theme. People can understand it very quickly. Versus Bermuda, I mean, you got to play that. You got to play that a couple times. But then once you learn it, beautiful. Beautiful fun map. And I love the different themes they went with it. It really pays off. From there, I would say Dryfield. Again, I think Dryfield is just like an upgraded high pass. And it plays really well, in my opinion. Then from there, you've got Mojave. And then last, you've got Camp Saxton, which I just think it was just... It's so underwhelming. It's just so dry on arrival. Like, we already played the better version of this, so I don't think anybody really wanted this in the game, besides maybe the, you know, the person that created the map, you know, for financial incentive. But this would be my list. Overall, how I would rate this summer update, I would rank it as good. If I had to give it a number, I'd say like a 7. What gives it a 7 for me is that I didn't care for the unusual effects. Some of the taunts were really mid, and Camp Saxton was just like, don't put maps like that in our updates, bro. We don't wait 6 to 8 months, you know, for Camp Saxton. Get out of here with that, right? From winter all the way till summer, and you give us Camp Saxton. Come on, Valve, do a little bit better. But everything else, a lot of the Warpaint skins, some of the taunts, most of the maps, all good. Did it exceed expectations? No. This wasn't like the summer update where we got like a brand new mode. It's not like when we got, you know, Saxon Hail mode put into the game. It's not like that one Halloween where we got like the zombie mode thrown in for the first time. So it didn't exceed expectations, and it certainly isn't like the most goated summer update I've ever experienced. But was it good? It was good. So, overall ranking, 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10, that's where I stand on it. Let me know if you guys agree.